Hey, Taurus, Mel, Intuitive Coach here. Excited to bring in your April 2025 monthly reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Taurus, I am hearing the phrase, what would love do? What would love do? It wouldn't surprise me to see the lovers in your reading. You may even have a choice in the month of April where you ask yourself, what would love do in this situation? So, wow, look at that. That's why, because the tower is coming in here and the world at the bottom of the deck, there's a restructuring taking place. You're preparing. There's some changes that are happening this year for you. And it's starting now because we are soon approaching Taurus season. And the Eight of Cups, you may be cutting ties, moving on in order to vibe with something deeper, more meaningful. For those of you that felt or feel discontent in any area of your life, I feel like that may be the choice, right? What would love do in this situation? And I feel like it has to do with self-love. So if you have been putting aside your own needs, your own desires at the expense or sacrifice of another, I feel like you're waking up to some sort of truth within, saying, is this really what is best? Is this really what is in my highest good? You have this awakening coming in. You have the Ace of Wands, which is the Ace of Inspiration here. And I just feel like you want to move in a new direction that inspires you. The Star, you have a lot of really beautiful major arcana coming out. You have, yes, the Tower, but with the Star, I mean, this tells me, because it comes one after another, the Tower first is Aries energy, and we are currently in Aries season at the time of this recording, but I feel like you are walking towards a higher truth. That's what's happening. You're walking towards a higher truth that is aligned with the heart. What would love do? And how interesting, because the only cup that we have here in your reading is the Eight of Cups. It's going to require you to make that choice. That's why I'm getting the Lovers. Okay? It feels like, I mean, you have the Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And you also have here the Conflict card at the bottom of the deck here. So it feels like if you've been in a tug of war, like if you've been contemplating or just oscillating back and forth between an idea or between, should I stay, should I leave, should I sell, should I buy, whatever it is that you've been tossing up in the air or considering, it feels like this month you may come into some new evidence or some newfound truth or newfound clarity. So I like where this is going here. Your key themes for the month of April are rest and retreat. So R&R, you may take a little bit of time out in order to see things from a new perspective. Some of you may even be wanting to travel or take a staycation or take some time to yourself. All right, time to yourself. Even though you have responsibilities and you may have, a job or people to take care of, I feel like you owe it to yourself to give yourself a day. Okay, you owe it to yourself, whether this is, again, a spa day or just resting, napping, doing whatever it is that you want to do. And that could be on your birthday, of course. But I feel for some of you, this is about recovery. You're recovering a sense of self is what I'm getting here. There's a part of you that's coming back home to you. Maybe that's that heart that I'm feeling here. You have the temple, the body. You may be returning back to your body, your physical senses in some way if you feel like you've disconnected. Now, you start off here with the R&R card. And I just feel like you are taking some time for you Taking some time out for you this month to rejuvenate, to rest, to pamper yourself, Taurus, to nurture the things that perhaps you've put on the back burner, but you've wanted to do for yourself. Maybe it's even signing up for a class or a workshop or taking a seminar, because you also have the education card here with flexibility. Now, things are changing in a very big way with the Tower. But I love that the flexibility is coming in, because it tells me that, it's important to not resist change, to be flexible within the build of some new structures that are showing up for you. So some of you, these new structures have to do with, a new mindset. It could be new skills that you've been learning. It could be a new relationship. It feels like there's been something new that has been inspiring you. And if it hasn't, if you've been in this back and forth, I feel like you're dropping the rope. Okay, you're letting go of something this month that's going to allow you to make room for this inspiration, whatever this ace is for you, which we'll dive more in a moment. This is about healing. You may have even been ill. You may have come up with an onset sudden illness here with that Tower, and you may be recovering from it this month. But I also am getting with the R&R, it feels like you're able to relax a little bit more. You're able to find more peace within yourself, within your circumstances, within your, environment. And you may even be changing your location in some way. Okay, so I don't know if this is an actual move or if you're just staying someplace else this month, or, maybe you're rearranging your home or your furniture. It feels like there's a shakeup within environment that's giving you a new perspective on life or on whatever it is that you've been feeling a little bit of a struggle on here. Now, because we have the education card, some of you are diving into a really good book at this time. And if you have a book near you, I want you to turn to page 128. There's something significant about that page or that number in that book. I would love to hear it. Drop it below in the comment section. I'll enter you into the free reading giveaway. It could even be, the whole page. It could be a paragraph. I mean, it could even be a blank page. That could be symbolic for you. So do drop it below. Now, for others of you, this is about knowledge. This is about learning something new, understanding something about yourself. It could be in the literal sense, or it could be you're going back to school. You could be taking a class, studying, training. But I'm also getting here for you, Taurus. This is about some underdeveloped skills that are being asked to embrace. Like, you are being asked to dive into something that you haven't mastered yet. Right? Or you haven't grown into what it is that you want to learn, because you haven't dove into it enough. You haven't researched it. You haven't experienced it. And I feel like, again, there's something that's underdeveloped, meaning there's the potential here for it to really blossom and really grow, for you to, get your degree, or for you to graduate in this journey in some sense, because I'm getting, again, that world that was showing up at the bottom of the deck. It feels like you're taking something all the way here. This lesson or this experience, this idea, this job, this education. So be flexible in how something shows up, because sometimes we have expectations. Sometimes we have, a certain way of what something must look like or how it must unfold, that it can block other avenues of resources or other avenues of opportunity to enter. And I feel like this month you are being guided to be flexible. This is about divine detours, and there's certainly some sort of a divine detour happening here for you. But because we have the star, this is responding to a wish, to a dream, to something that you've been healing, you've been working on yourself. This is about new ideas, expansion, movement, going with the flow. Some of you are yogis. You may even be expanding the body, expanding the breath. All right, expansion of the breath. They're showing me breath work. This could be a really wonderful month to really incorporate some good breath work into your world. You may even be learning about the breath or learning about somatic healing or some form of alternative medicine here. So I like the flexibility card coming in because you have some new growth all around you and you're not settling for just one path or one way of doing something, because the star here is reminding you as above, so below, and it's going to require a bit of vulnerability. It's going to require you to, open up to some of these changes. And I feel like you are. Now, because you have the Tower showing up as your first card out, now the Tower is actually showing up in reverse. So this is a complete overhaul, a complete restructuring of something that once either felt stable or it may have been built on a bit of a rocky or a faulty foundation. And I feel like that's why this Aries season has come up to really shake things up. And we're going to see a lot of the impacts of the cosmic changes that happened in March, the eclipse energies and, Neptune. And we've had a lot of shakeups. And now we're going to see those shakeups, how they have affected, or what's going to happen due to some of the changes that have been currently initiated. And I feel like you're feeling this quite heavily. But the Tower here is a new beginning. A Tower is a new beginning, and I feel like you're being called to not resist this new beginning. And I feel like you don't want to, but there may still be something that you're battling. There still may be a bit of a tug of war here. And as we move forward, we'll figure out what that tug of war is. But this is about maybe leaving behind something with this Eight of Cups, cutting ties, moving on in order to grow personally, in order to discover new parts of yourself, to discover new areas that fulfill you emotionally, spiritually. Because the Eight of Cups is the quest for something deeper. It's the quest for something more meaningful. There's a new path ahead here for you. And if you felt disconnected or you felt like you were emotionally tethered to a situation or a person or a relationship that no longer serves you, perhaps at one point there was an emotional bond, but now there's not, you may feel like you have certain obligations. You may feel like you have to stay for a certain reason. That's what's becoming shattered. That's what this is all about here. Because you have this ace, and all aces are gifts. I love the Ace of Wands. It is a new beginning regarding your creativity. It could be reinventing yourself. It's a new sense of purpose. It's really tapping into your potential. It's the seed of conception here. So you have an idea that's been planted. You have something that's been planted. And I feel like the growth actually happens quite quickly for you. Something is happening quickly, but you're being asked to stay flexible, continue watering it, continue nurturing it, and continue feeding it what it needs to grow here. Now, Seven of Materials is showing up here. This is the Seven of Pentacles. How interesting, because it feels like she is stopping. She's stopping to smell the roses. And that's important for you this month, because sometimes we just truck along, we go forward on our path. Sometimes it feels like we are bogged down by responsibilities and work and family and certain, again, obligations. But I feel like this is the month where you're being asked to stop, to pause, to smell the roses, to embrace life, to rest, to retreat, and to take care of yourself, to listen to your body, to listen to your intuitive awareness. Because the Seven of Pentacles is waiting for things to grow. And some of you, there's going to be newfound information with this education card that's going to allow you to take a sideways step or a sideways approach to a situation that maybe you weren't able to in the past. But I feel like in order for you to receive this information, it's important to stop, right? It's important to stop and pause, because you have the Star coming in. The Star here is a wish. It is inspiration. It's a dream. It's healing. It's a brighter future. And that's what's coming in for you. The stars are aligning. You deserve a win here. You deserve to celebrate yourself, to honor your path, but you also deserve some of the things that you've been working so hard to manifest in your life. And that's what's crumbling and shaking down, is the areas that are not in alignment. And it may be that certain things are being removed from your life, Taurus, because you are guided to open up to your truth, your soul's truth, right? What would love do? I feel like there's been a tower in order for you to fully wake up to your life again. That's what this tower is all about. That's why the star is coming. And this is your soul's truth. The Ace of Swords here is a newfound sense of clarity. The Ace of Swords is an understanding. This is about you and your authenticity. It's about getting honest about your circumstance or about your situation or about anything that you've maybe been in denial about or you were resisting. I feel like you're being awakened here. And that's interesting because Aries has a bit of a similar message, a similar undertone. If you are dealing with an Aries, have strong Aries placements or even in the Aries cusp, you may want to check out that reading. But because you have here the conflict card at the bottom, the first phrase says solutions, right? Overcoming obstacles that may have had to do with some triggers, some adversity, or even opposing views. And this is the time where, again, I just feel like you're letting go of the rope. You're letting go of the rope and saying, why have I been continuing to fight against this instead of leaning into this change? That's what you're doing. You're leaning into the change. So whatever this newfound information is that's coming through, whether it's coming through from an external source, perhaps it's something that comes through spiritual enlightenment here. I mean, certainly could be the star. I mean, in the Ace, there's a newfound part of yourself that's waking up to the truth. And you may be saying, the truth is I'm not happy here. Or the truth is I deserve more. The truth is I've been settling. And that's what you are recognizing here. And you're doing something about it. It feels like you don't want to live less than you deserve. So let's take a look at finances, abundance, wealth, and money. All right, we have the unlocking. This is beautiful. It says here, what was locked can now be opened. Yeah, the tower here, because you've jumped. You've decided that, yes, this tower is happening for me. This is something that maybe you are integrating yourself. Perhaps you are the one that is tearing something down, tearing some old beliefs, some old structures in order for you to rebuild in this basis of healing and love and truth. You have opened the floodgates of abundance without limitations. Yeah, because you felt limited. You may have even been in a relationship or in a job that limited you. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it with that 8 of Cups here. It feels like that's why you were guided to cut some ties with maybe some friends, or it could be, anyone that was holding you back, but you felt, I keep getting that word obligation or duty in some context. You felt obligated, like I have to stay here, or I have to be in this dynamic, or I have to, whatever it is. It just feels like now you're waking up and you're saying, wait a second. Why did I continue telling myself that I have to stay stuck, that I have to stay small or limited? What would love do? What would self-love do here in this situation? Blocks are there telling you that, there's something that is asking you to pay attention to. If there's a block or if there's some sort of resistance, I feel like you are being guided to unlock what that is in order for you to fully untap this potential, tap into this. It's like tapping the sap tree or the maple syrup. I feel like you hit the mother lode here. It feels like it's all pouring in and you're going to start to feel and taste the sweet success of abundance. I mean, you have the light bulb. This is lucrative ideas when it comes to your career. This could be a new income source showing up. inspiration again. So this is a very inspiring month. A lot of you may even be entrepreneurs. You may open the doorway to a new job opportunity. This is about your creative work, creative projects, passion projects, side hustles. I feel like that light bulb is turning on and I feel like you're running with it. You're running with an idea. It's like you've tapped into something quite delicious. And now it's like you're trying to put a bucket and catch all that golden maple syrup because there's so much you're able to do with this. There's a new financial commitment coming in here for you. This is long term. Something you're tapping into now, I feel is long term because it's part of your truth. It's part of your long-term investments, maybe even legacy for some of you. So definitely a new partnership coming in here, working together with someone to build and create. This is about fulfillment. It reminds me of the 10 of Cups. I feel like it's emotional and spiritual fulfillment. And yes, the monetary piece will come. And it's going to require a trust, trusting that piece will play out for you because you have the investment card. I love this. Look at that briefcase full of money. Now, of course, it's more than just money though. That's why the 10 of Cups is being shown in my mind's eye, Taurus. The 10 of Cups is, work that brings you joy. Work that brings you, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of service. Finances are looking good. They're growing. They're taking a turn here. This is a great time to invest. It's a great time to apply your energy, your ideas, and your efforts into something here. Set a strong foundation. You will see the fruits of your labor. That's why you have the Tower, because it means that you're addressing the cracks in your foundation to make sure that it is sturdy. So when that big bad wolf wants to come down and blow it down, it's not going to happen. Right? It's not going to waver. You are setting something very, very strong, but perhaps that big bad wolf has come in and blown down the houses before. Perhaps you've gone through it, but it's through that struggle that you've learned how to secure something within yourself. Some of you could even be bringing in multiple sources of income. I feel like you have this new idea. Your finances are starting to recover because I got that word earlier, recovery. Maybe you're going back to school so you can be more flexible with your money, with your time, with your energy. I mean, double aces here really tells me that you're restructuring and you're heading towards something deeper, more satisfying here. Now let's look at love, partnerships, relationships. You have quite a few that came out here. For some of you, there may be a lot going on in matters of the heart. If you are currently in a relationship or a dynamic, or even if you are solo, you've been doing a lot of work on yourself, working on sabotaging behaviors, maybe rebuilding after a tower. Okay. Some of you, this is about persistence, not giving up on your dreams, not giving up on love, but it's also about repairing something that may have been broken, right? Like addressing the cracks in the foundation, repairing a marriage, repairing, yourself, your financial state after a divorce even. So I feel like putting in the work is what this hammer is all about. You have the teddy bear here. For those of you that are single, this is a really good month for love, okay? You have the love call here. This is about expressing love. You may be meeting someone online. This could be messages, thinking of you. There may even be someone informing you that they really care, that they're really starting to like you a lot, have feelings for you. I feel like there's the beginning stages here of something that could grow into long term. This is about blooming romance, flirting, wanting to date. And for those of you that may be going through a period of separation in some sort, you needed that time. You needed that time to heal, to progress, to grow, and to work on maybe even fears of abandonment or codependencies, because we do have the chaser here. So Taurus, you may have been the runner, you may have been the chaser. And it just feels like codependencies may have kept you, maybe that's part of what has kept you feeling enabled, or maybe not enabled, tethered to a partnership. as I mentioned earlier, you felt like you owed it to someone, or it was a responsibility or a duty. And maybe that's where the codependencies are really waking up within you. And you're saying, wait a second, do I really need to stay in a situation, or is this codependency? You may have been chasing after something that maybe you didn't really want. It wasn't really aligned with your soul's truth. And I feel like this cycle, the time, the clock card here tells me that the hourglass has shifted, right? It's turned over. Something has turned a new leaf, and you have a fresh start. This is a new time frame for you, a new paradigm that you are stepping into. Quite literally, it's another trip around the sun. And for some of you, and I said this, I think, in Aries reading as well, some of you, this is an important birthday, or it's an important month for some reason. There could even be some other specific dates. And again, it's coming up April 12th. I've been saying this for weeks now. So I think it could be something collectively that shows up on April 12th, but it ripples out. It's going to affect everyone in a very big way, a very good way though, I feel. We may not think that right away with the Tower, but I feel like it will. Now, for some of you regarding health, you went through a bit of a health crisis with the Tower. All right. This could be a sudden onset here of a symptom, or it could be something that tends to flare back up over time. Like you feel like you got it under bay, or you're doing good with it, and then it just flares up out of nowhere. I feel like you may be getting answers, or there's something here about newfound inspiration or education, research that allows you to maybe put something to rest in order for you to fully heal, or to keep something at bay is what I'm sensing here. You may even be looking at yoga or studying. I'm getting like the Kama Sutras. Okay. I mean, maybe some of you are healing the sacral chakra. Maybe you're doing some Kundalini yoga. All right, that's showing up here, the sacral chakra. And now that that's mentioned, I actually see some beautiful orange playing out. Now, the sacral chakra is 2 inches below your navel. It has to do with our pleasure in life, our relationships, our emotions, and it can also be our sensuality, our sexuality. But you may have been devoid from pleasure in some way. Is that a word? Devoid? It feels like pleasure or play or magic or fun was over here, and it was attainable, but for whatever reason you couldn't get to it. And it feels like that's opening up here for you in a big way, because look at these 3 cards, the bright orange, conflict. Then you have the star, we're healing some sort of conflict. And then we have the ace, the new beginning, the ace of wands. This is all that orangish, yellowish that's coming up here for you. You're feeling more empowered this month as well. All right. So we have here in love, for those of you again that are looking to connect to someone, to heal from maybe an argument or something that was very difficult. Maybe you've even cut ties with someone. I definitely see that there's a new surge of energy that's happening for you. There's something that you may even be contemplating, how can I make this work? How can I address the cracks in the foundation? But for a lot of you, if you are single, I definitely feel like you are inspired to take action and connect to someone. Someone is connecting to you, because I feel like there's sparks, there's fireworks, there's something with July. And that's so interesting because Aries also received a bonus card. I'm actually going to pull a timing card for you. They received the July card in their reading, and I just got fireworks. So here in the US, Independence Day is July, but you have June. So this could be taking place for you, or it could really be sparking up like big fireworks by June or July 2025, which is right around the corner. So June is your month. It's also, there's something here with the tulips. Okay, maybe you're growing tulips. April, tulips tend to start blooming as well, but I feel like you are awakening. There's something deep within you that is awakening. And then lastly, we have the temple. The temple can be the body. It can be nature. The temple, I mean, that may even have to do with that R&R card, that rest and retreat. But I feel like this also has to do with where you feel like you fit in the world in some way. But it has to do with the body. Let me just find the temple here. This sanctuary, the shrine, the altar. When we think of the temple, we often envision an architectural structure in a far-off land. We are quick to distance ourselves from the sacred, assuming we must expend much effort in order to arrive there. Yet the temple is a universal and omnipresent energy, accessible in the highest and lowest, richest and poorest of places. Visiting the temple might be as simple as stepping into the dappled light of the forest, slowly and sensuously kissing a lover, or closing your eyes to travel inward. This card is a call to re-examine what you pay homage to and what you reject. What do you spend your time worshiping? Your phone, your money, your material goods? What barriers do you draw between yourself and the sacred? Perhaps there is room on your altar for something new, something surprising. Offer it to the heavens. Though indeed the temple travels with you, this card is interwoven with the pilgrim archetype. If you've been longing for a spiritual journey, book the ticket. The ancient yogis, and this is interesting because you have yoga, and I've been talking about yogis as well. But some of you, this is a spiritual retreat because there's a return to love here. Like what would love do? So if you've been contemplating going to Sedona or going to one of the 7 wonders of the world or any spiritual retreat, you have that also showing up here, the rest and retreat card. So beautiful synchronicity there. The ancient yogis saw the body itself as the temple, every function and feature of it, as an expression of divinity. Build a shrine with found materials. Don't spend any money, only time. When this shows up as the light, it's reverence for all. It's viewing life as a sanctuary. When it's showing up as the dark, it's cults. It's strict spirituality, right? It's a feeling of not letting. It's basically the opposite of flexibility, right? It is strict. It defines us in a challenging way, like it holds us, it boxes us in. That's what you're letting go of. You're letting go of some sort of conformity or something that has boxed you in, or you've been structured in. I'm getting Hierophant energy here. That's why you are being reminded to flow, to not be so strict on something. Now is the time. It says here, if you want to go deeper, check out Now is the Time by Hafez, Hafez. I'm not sure if that's a poem, if that's a song, but if this temple resonates with you, Now is the Time by Hafez. So I definitely feel like there is something new. Perhaps there's room on your altar. You have double aces here, something surprising. There's the Tower. Offer it to the heavens. Okay, because I feel like it is time for this spiritual journey, whether it's an actual place that you travel to and you buy the tickets, or this is something deep within you, that quest, the 8 of Cups, that quest for something deeper, more meaningful, more spiritual. Taurus, that is what I have for you, beautiful souls. If you like the message, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. Thank you so very much for being here and tuning in. Lots of love.